My husband divorced and left me for another woman. I was shattered, broken, and felt my entire world collapse. But instead of screaming or begging, I stayed silent because I had a plan he would never see coming. If you've ever faced betrayal like this, share your story in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful true stories. Now let me tell you how it all began from the very start. I married Daniel when I was only 22. Everyone admired us, calling us the perfect couple. We had a modest little house, endless dreams, and I believed we would grow old together. But dreams often hide cracks. At first, life was peaceful and filled with laughter. Slowly, though, Daniel started changing. He came home late. His warmth faded. His eyes no longer looked at me with love. I felt invisible in my own home, like a shadow no one noticed anymore. One ordinary evening, I noticed something strange. Daniel's phone kept buzzing, and he quickly hid it whenever I walked into the room. My gut told me something was wrong, but I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Days later, I discovered the truth. Daniel was secretly seeing another woman. My hands shook, my chest burned. But still, I confronted him, and he didn't even deny it. Instead, he gave me the cruelest words. I want a divorce. She makes me happier than you ever did. My whole body went numb. The man I had loved with every heartbeat discarded me like yesterday's trash. The first few weeks after the divorce were hell. I cried myself to sleep every single night, my pillow soaked with tears, my heart heavy with rejection. I had no family nearby, little money, and no one to lean on. People whispered about me, and I felt ashamed. But in the silence of my pain, a tiny voice whispered inside me, "This is not your end. This is your beginning." That voice gave me strength. I refused to let Daniel's betrayal define me. I decided to rebuild my life from scratch. I took a small part-time job, saved every penny I could, and studied online late into the nights. Slowly, I built a new skill, graphic design. It wasn't easy, but I kept pushing forward. Within months, I was earning more than I ever imagined, and yet I told no one. I wanted Daniel to believe I was still weak and broken, while secretly, I was becoming stronger than ever. A whole year passed. I had transformed myself quietly, without Daniel or anyone else knowing. My small projects grew, and soon I was freelancing for big clients overseas. Money started flowing in. And for the first time in my life, I felt independent and free. But I never showed it on the outside. I wore simple clothes. Lived deep inside, though. I was building a future Daniel could never destroy. Then, one evening, there was a knock at my door. I opened it, and there he was, Daniel. But he wasn't the confident man who once left me. His shoulders drooped. His face looked tired. And his eyes carried regret. He told me his new relationship had collapsed. The woman he left me for had cheated on him, just like he had cheated on me. Now he was alone, desperate and filled with shame. For the first time, I felt no pain, only strength. Daniel begged me to take him back. He said he had made a mistake, that I was the one who truly cared for him. His words dripped with regret, but to me, they meant nothing. I remembered the nights I cried myself to sleep, the days I doubted my own worth, the emptiness he left behind. And I realized something powerful. I no longer needed him. I was no longer that broken woman. I was stronger, braver, and completely free. I looked Daniel straight in the eyes and said calmly, "No, Daniel, you don't get to break me and then crawl back when your world collapses. You lost me forever, the day you chose someone else over me." He stood frozen, shocked by my strength. I closed the door gently, not with anger, but with finality. And in that moment, I felt lighter than ever before. That was my closure. That was my silent revenge. Today, I run my own small design company. I have a team, international clients, and a life I once only dreamed of. I am independent, confident, and happier than I ever thought possible. Daniel thought he destroyed me, but in truth, he created a stronger version of me. Sometimes silence is the best revenge. And if you've ever been betrayed like I was, remember, you can rebuild, you can rise, and you can live a life so powerful that your enemies regret losing you. After closing the door on Daniel, I sat quietly in my room and thought about my journey. From being a shattered woman abandoned by her husband to standing tall as a successful business owner. It felt like a dream, but it wasn't luck. It was the strength I found in my darkest days. Every tear I shed watered the seed of resilience inside me, and now that seed had grown into an unshakable tree of confidence. Friends often ask me how I survived such betrayal. I tell them it wasn't easy. There were nights when I wanted to give up, mornings when I felt empty, and days when I doubted myself. But each time I fell, I reminded myself that my story was not over. I refused to let Daniel's betrayal define me. I chose to write my own ending, and in doing so, I became stronger than I ever imagined. Daniel's downfall became a lesson for me. He once thought leaving me for another woman was the path to happiness, but karma found him quickly. The same pain he gave me, he experienced himself. And when he returned, hoping to find me still broken, he was shocked to see the woman I had become. That, to me, was justice. Not loud, not vengeful, but silent and undeniable. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had taken him back. But then I realize that would have been the true tragedy, losing myself again. Instead, I chose me. I chose growth. I chose peace. And that decision has given me a freedom no one can take away. My story is not just about revenge. It's about transformation, about turning pain into power and betrayal into strength. So if you're listening to my story and you've been betrayed, abandoned, or broken, I want you to know something. You are stronger than you think. Do not let someone else's betrayal define your worth. Stand up, rebuild, and become the version of yourself that they can never touch again. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge is not anger. It is living a life so beautiful, so powerful, that it silences everyone who ever doubted you. After everything, I realized Daniel's betrayal was a gift in disguise. If he hadn't left me, I might never have discovered my strength, my talent, or my independence. Sometimes, life pushes us into the fire, not to burn us, but to shape us into steel. That's what happened to me. And now, every time I look in the mirror, I see not a victim, but a warrior. My small design company grew faster than I expected. Clients from different countries reached out, appreciating my creativity and dedication. With each project I completed, I gained not only income, but confidence. I was no longer the woman who waited for someone to validate her worth. I created my own identity, my own success, and my own destiny. Sometimes Daniel still tries to contact me. He sends messages saying he regrets everything, that he wishes he could turn back time. But I never reply, because I know that giving him even a single response would open the door to my past, and I have no interest in going back. My silence is my answer, and that silence is louder than any words I could say. To the women who hear my story and think I could never be that strong, let me tell you, strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build, piece by piece, through every trial and every tear. You don't have to have it all figured out right away. Just take one step forward, then another. Before you know it, you'll look back and see how far you've come. Daniel once told me I would never survive without him. I smile whenever I remember those words, because today I have not only survived, I have thrived. I built a life so much better than the one I had with him. And the sweetest part, he gets to watch from a distance, realizing every single day that he underestimated me. I remember the nights when I cried myself to sleep, begging God for strength. Back then, I couldn't see any light ahead. But now, when I look back, I realize those nights were preparing me for the woman I was meant to become. Pain shapes you in ways comfort never can. Betrayal may break your heart, but it also unlocks your hidden power. If you are listening to my story and you are in the middle of heartbreak, know this: you are not alone. You may feel invisible, unwanted, or discarded, but just like me, you have a fire inside you waiting to be ignited. Don't let someone's rejection define your future. Let it push you to write a new chapter, one where you are the hero. If you are listening to my story and you are in the middle of heartbreak, know this: you are not alone. You may feel invisible, unwanted, or discarded, but just like me, you have a fire inside you waiting to be ignited. Don't let someone's rejection define your future. Let it push you to write a new chapter, one where you are the hero. So here I stand today, not as Daniel's ex-wife, not as the woman who was once broken, but as a survivor and a creator of her own destiny. My past no longer defines me. It empowers me. And if sharing my journey helps even one person realize their strength, then every tear I shed was worth it. People often ask me if I ever regret marrying Daniel. My answer is no, because without him, I wouldn't have faced the storm that shaped me. Sometimes the wrong person enters your life just to push you toward the right path. Daniel was my lesson, but never my ending. I used to dream of a life where Daniel and I grew old together. Now I dream of a life where I continue to grow, create, and inspire others. Dreams change, and that's okay. What matters is that we never stop dreaming, never stop moving forward. There's still days when memories try to haunt me, but instead of letting them hurt, I let them remind me of how far I've come. The pain that once broke me is now my fuel, and every success I achieve whispers to the old me, you made it, you survived. If you are sitting there wondering if you will ever heal, believe me, you will. Healing is not the straight road. It's messy, it's painful, and it takes time. But step by step, your wounds turn into scars, and those scars tell the story of your strength. One day, you will thank yourself for not giving up. So, to everyone listening, don't let betrayal define you. Let it refine you. Don't let heartbreak end your story. Let it begin a new one. My husband thought leaving me would destroy me. Instead, it set me free. And now, I am living proof that the best revenge is building a life you truly love.